And a good Saturday morning to you. I am Lori Pinson. Welcome to Lori Stories. There are many of you that are interested today. Let me welcome just a few of you. I see Stephanie, Lindsay, Val, Gloria, so many of you guys online because today's topic, we are talking with Underdog Rescue Ranch. But many of you may already be familiar with them, all because of this guy. Underground was in here earlier this month, and you may remember Norman. He just was so loving that so many of you thought I should adopt him, and I tried to explain. I've got 5 rescue kitties at home and a toy poodle, but still, I thought about Norman a lot because he was so friendly. Look at that face. And I have the answer as to whether or not Norman was adopted. Lots of interest in Norman. But the person with the answer could be our first guest. The guest for today, I want to welcome in from Underdog Rescue Ranch. Kaylin Williams, welcome.
Thank you.
So before we go any further, I have to ask you, many people want to know about Norman. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, so, he was on the news. We got a lot of people interested in him, and yet here we are, what is it, over a month later, and he has still not found a home, unfortunately, and he is the perfect dog. He is very dog-friendly, people-friendly. He's perfect, and we just don't understand why he hasn't been adopted yet.
I don't understand that either. I mean, I thought he was just the sweetest. Let me read to you what a couple of the viewers said. Lindsay Harding says, Norman is amazing and deserves the best home. Stephen Pryor said, what a great picture. He loved Norman. I put this little thing up here. Linda Braun says, good morning, Lori and Norman. Said that, Norman needs to be definitely rescued. And you know what? We're still out there hoping that Norman can get the perfect home for him. Norman is amazing. And as you agree, he should have a super home.
Yes.
So tell me, what is it that Underdog Rescue Ranch does? Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so we really do a lot. We have fosters that, that they foster dogs take in. We take a lot of dogs from overcrowded shelters, get them to safety. They call us the underdogs because we take a lot that, have had a hard life and a rough start to life, and we're there to give them their second chance.
So how long has Underdog been in existence, and why did you feel like there was a need for something like this?
Yeah, so Underdog actually in January will be 2 years. There's a huge need. The shelters are overcrowded, and there's a lot of dogs that, like I said, deserve a second chance, and we're just trying to build awareness of what's going on in the animal world right now. And we knew that there needed to be more people to step up and help these animals. So it got started by a passionate group of ladies, and here we are today. We have over 450 dogs saved to this day.
So tell me how it is that you get or save or rescue the dogs. Does someone contact you directly? Are you out just cruising the streets looking for dogs? How does that work?
Yeah, so for us specifically, we get a lot of people reaching out to us of dogs in need. If they're, especially medical cases, that they just, shelter environment is not good for them. So, we have volunteers that also go to the shelters and see, the dogs that are in need. So it's a little bit of everything. People will also reach out if there's a dog on the street that needs help, and, we do the best we can, but really we need a foster home for them. So that's the first step. And, the goal someday is to have a ranch where we can help save more dogs.
So tell me what the intake process is like. Say that you've either seen a dog on the street and you're rescuing them, or someone is surrendering a dog. What then happens in that dog's life? You could use Norman as an example,
right,
if you like.
Yeah, no, Norman, surprisingly, he was at the shelter for a long time. He was heartworm positive, which also can make it difficult for a rescue to take on because it's expensive.
And is that when you say heartworm positive, is that something that can be or given or somehow to other animals in the home, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would make it more difficult for him to be adopted.
Right.
And is he free of that now?
Yeah, so a couple things with heartworm, it is not contagious to other dogs.
Okay.
He is free of it now. He went through treatment. Really what it is, it's usually a 3-month process of getting injections, being low activity. So, no running around, no jumping, no playing, a lot of enrichment to keep them, occupied. But again, it's not contagious. It's a long healing process. And again, it's pretty costly to treat.
So was he taken off the streets? Is that, you said that he had been in the shelter a long time. Was
Mm-hmm.
that, well, it couldn't have been previous to the group beginning to form, but if he was in the shelter a really long time, was
Mm-hmm.
he a stray? Was he surrendered? What's his backstory? I'm really trying to help you.
Yeah, no, that's okay. A majority of the dogs are strays that come in. I don't know his specific story, but a majority of dogs that come into the shelter, they come in as strays, just roaming the streets.
So what is that like for you when you, and I don't know about you, but I did a story at a shelter and ended up bringing 2 cats home. What is it like being a part of Underdog then, and you see so many dogs that are in need? I've had an opportunity to go out with the Karens, and it's just so many dogs that are neglected out on the street. And I'm sure that you see the same thing.
Yeah.
How does that affect you? And do you think we'll ever catch up with what's going on the streets with the dogs?
Yeah, so it's heartbreaking. I want to save them all. I really do. But, I can only, as one person, I can only do so much. But if we get all of these people involved, to contribute as far as like donations, fostering, that's how we're really going to help save more animals. And then the other side of it is, getting your pets spayed and neutered, caring for the dogs, reporting any instances that you see with any animal abuse or neglect. Really, that's how we're going to combat this. And it takes a village.
I'm glad that you mentioned that about neglect, because a lot of times, again, going out with some of the rescues, we see dogs that are chained up and are living in their own filth. And a lot of times the response, at least that I get from the viewers, well, why don't they just take them? But you can't do that, right?
No, there are laws, and it's basically a dog is treated as someone's property. So unless they are willing to surrender them, there's nothing legally that you can do. My dog personally, that I foster failed with Underdog, she was tied to a chain and had babies at 9 months old.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's heartbreaking, and it's all over. And these outreach groups, they do their absolute best they can. We've actually partnered, like I said, we partner with them to help get the dogs that the people that want to surrender and are willing to surrender, getting them into a foster home to start their next chapter of life. Yep.
So you've mentioned fosters, and I know that there are so many dogs that need fosters. How do you get someone to say, yes, I will be a foster? And is there a long training period in it? How do they contact you if they think that they could be a foster parent?
Yeah, so really, it just starts with an application. Fill out a foster application. We're happy to have a conversation with you about, what kind of dog, because it's not just, a lot of the stigma is, the pit bulls, but there's so many like small dogs, all breeds, everything. So if there's, a type of dog that might fit your household best to foster, we're happy to talk to you about that and see what dog might be out there that we could help you save.
How many dogs would you say roughly that you guys have at Underdog right now? And is that usually the capacity that you are able to take in?
Yeah, so right now we're at between 25 and 30 dogs in foster homes. Really, it just depends. There's a lot of factors that go into, how many more dogs we want to pull. Obviously, fosters are what we need to be able to pull more dogs. Donations, so that we are able to handle those medical expenses, especially of the ones that, need it the most.
So I have some video here that you guys shared with me. Tell me what we're looking at here.
Those are Bougie's puppies. We had a French bulldog that was overbred, and finally the owner is willing to surrender, and we took him in. And then this is Jethro. He's actually my foster. He had severe mange, emaciated. He actually just got adopted today. Yep, I had him for 8 months. And then this is Ernie, another one of my fosters. He was basically dumped by his owner, dropped off at the shelter like he was, I don't even know.
I don't get it.
Yep, this is Blanche. She was scared and terrified and super skinny in the shelter. They didn't think she was going to make it, but actually one of our team members has her now, adopted her, and she's living her best life. And there's Bougie. Yep, there's Bougie with her puppies. Yep, little cutie.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I think we have one or two more. Yep, there we go. Is
Yep.
that everybody?
That is, yep, pretty much everybody. Yep, we were charity of the game at the Detroit Tigers this year, which helped raise some money for us. So we were happy to be a part of that.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
So it sounds like what you guys are trying to do is just really help get the dogs off the street. Is there a specific neighborhood that you work in, or if someone called you or tried to surrender someone, is it is it anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, so the standard is if you find a dog, they do have a 5-day stray hold that you have to legally, go with. We try our best, to help the dogs that are from the streets if you find one. But really what we're looking for, like I said, is fosters. We can't take any more in if we don't have someone to care for them.
So when you say that, because just the name of your organization, Underdog Rescue Ranch, I'm thinking of you got a huge ranch. And
Yes.
but in reality, you're relying heavily on folks to take these dogs, and you don't have a set place where the dogs are. Am I correct with that?
Correct. Yep.
Okay,
So we
okay.
are. Yep. So we are Underdog Rescue Ranch, and we named it, the ranch because our goal is to have a ranch, and we are actively looking. But, again, we need donations, and any events, like we are part of the Michigan Animal Welfare Foundation. They have 2 big events each year, the Fur Ball and Bowl for Animals. That helps us it helps us greatly. And yeah, like I said, we can't do it without donations.
So do you have a specific site where you want people to go to donate? And are you looking for volunteers? If someone were to go on that site, do they also think, hey, I can maybe foster, or I could come in and help you in some type of way? Because do you go out or are people leading you to these dogs, or do you actually go out in the community and get the dogs?
Yeah, so like you said, with the website, it has all the information. UnderdogRescueRanch.com has information about adopting, fostering, donating, getting involved. And we are actively looking for a fundraising coordinator to help us raise more funds to, get to our goal. And then, as far as, and I'm sorry, what was your second question?
Oh, that's okay. You said the main thing is the UnderdogRescueRanch.gov. You said
.com.
.com. Okay, because I want to make sure that people. I said if could they also sign up there to be fosters. And the other thing, and I know you said yes, but the other thing too that I really want to stress, especially if you're thinking about adopting someone, because you said Norman hasn't been adopted yet, you have a strict policy of who you are going to release that dog to, because I've heard so many horror stories of people like, yes, I want that dog, and then they might try to use him for a bait dog or something like that. That just keeps me up at night. But tell me about your vetting process.
Yeah, so once you submit an application, what we do is we check for vet references, we have referrals, we ask, for home pictures, and really all that is just to make sure that they're going to a good home. And like Lori said, we don't want any dogs to end up in another bad situation. We want them to have the best home possible.
Absolutely. Is there anything, and we have a little bit of time left, anything that you want to add specifically to tell our viewers that we didn't discuss yet?
Yeah, like I said, we need fosters. Like I said many times, we need fosters. We need donations. We do need a fundraising coordinator that can help us raise more money. And like I said, we do have 2 big events with Michigan Animal Welfare Foundation. If you're interested in helping out or, attending those events, like I said, we have the Fur Ball, that's in April. And then we have Bowl for Animals in August. And those are 2 super huge events. And we are just one of the beneficiaries there. There are 3 others, and, you're supporting all of us.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
We're still trying to get Norman adopted.
Yes.
This is UnderdogRescueRanch.com. And hopefully you would set up a meeting with not only Norman, but any other dog that you would have up for adoption.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming in today.
Yeah, thank you, Lori.
No worries. Listen, coming up on tomorrow's show, let me give you just a little bit of a sneak. Remember this game? Squid Game, the challenge. Coming up on tomorrow's Lori Stories, I have an exclusive interview with a Livonia native who participated in that game. She is player number 263. We have exclusive audition video, all of that coming up tomorrow on Lori Stories at 11 a.m. Until then, have a positive day.